Greetings and welcome to the program. It is time for Midnight's Edge After Dark. I'm Tom Connors. With me to kick off the show tonight, we have Clobbering Times. How are you doing?
Hey, what's up, man? Thanks for having me here. Good to see you and CC. A fantastic chat. I hope we have some fun geeking out tonight, buddy. Thanks for having me.
Always glad to have you. And CC Karaoke from the Great White North. How are you doing?
Always glad to be here, keeping it easy. I'm in between winter and summer right now, getting the RV repaired, so just laid up and hanging out.
Indeed. Hopefully you get that taken care of sooner than later, but share out that link, hit that like button, let everybody know that we're live. We should have, I think Nick Weiser will be by, Nick Weiser should be by shortly, if not before too long, I guess. And I'm not sure who else will be showing up tonight, but you never ever know. But for now, we're going to get things kicking. We've got some Disney stuff to discuss. Maybe we'll get into the Superman news, depending on who shows up here. But let's say hello to the people in the chat. We got Snowdub in the house. How you doing, Snow? We got Donnie Pearson. We got Hamdinger here. We got Marks47, Animus. Tiger Valley's here. Rebel Coco Dragon. Is that it? Rebel Coco Dragon. Yeah, not Cock Dragon. And then we got Goddess of Whim here. We got Elizabeth Young. So many of you. Good to see you. Joshua Hammond. Toxic Waltz. D-Bud Martin swinging that wrench, so behave. Good to see you. Good to see you. Shrap 3D. Thank you for being here, everybody. Doug 1985. Last son of Kay. And so many more. Thank you so much. Rachel Harris, I see.
Hey.
Indeed. Welcome to the program. So yeah, we ain't got no super chats to start with, so let's just get rolling with the news, why don't we? Disney is trying desperately to deal with this Florida issue. And as you see from our headline, they're a bit in panic right now. They've asked Florida court to toss the lawsuit brought by Ron DeSantis' hand-picked board over Walt Disney World jurisdiction. So this story came out today, just a couple hours ago, actually. The Walt Disney Company is asking a judge to dismiss or stay a state law brought by the special district that oversees its Florida resort property. In a motion filed in Florida State Court in Orange County, read it here, Disney called the lawsuit moot. Also claimed that the state law requires that the state court sideline the litigation until the company's own federal case against Governor Ron DeSantis is resolved. Disney earlier filed an earlier served federal action is pending between substantially the same parties, and it involves substantially overlapping issues, the company's legal team said in its brief filed on Tuesday. In these circumstances, controlling precedents provide that the court lacks discretion to proceed with this case. Disney regards that it is compelled to litigate these issues anywhere, but the federal action is the proper vehicle for hearing the parties' dispute. Disney sued DeSantis in federal court last month over the governor's effort to strip the company of the control of the Reedy Creek Improvement District, the special district that has overseen its Florida property for the past 55 years, which they never actually did what they were supposed to do in the past 55 years, and appoint his own members. Disney said that DeSantis' efforts violated its First Amendment and other constitutional rights because it was done in retaliation for the company's opposition to a state parental rights bill known as the Don't Say Gay law. That is not true. It is known as the Parental Rights Bill. But after that lawsuit was filed, the governor's appointees to the special district, newly named the Central Florida Tourism Oversight District, filed their own lawsuit against the company in state court. They want a judge to declare a set of Disney development agreements with the special district void and unenforceable. The agreements, which ensure that the company will still maintain autonomy on what gets built on its property and surrounding land, were approved by Reedy Creek Special District just weeks before it passed from Disney control to the state. So, yes, they were trying to keep control, but they lost it. That's right. DeSantis' recently signed bill that voided Disney's development contacts and prohibited the Central Florida Tourism Oversight District from complying with them. In their most recent motion, Disney's attorneys argued that DeSantis' actions makes any order this court could issue in either party's favor legally irrelevant. If the court rejects the board's claims on their merits and agrees with Disney that the contracts compiled with any procedural and substantive, I guess that's the word, requirement of state law, the board would still be prohibited from complying with them under the new state statute. According to the company in its motion, for the same reason, even if the court found merit in the board's objections to the contracts, any order to that effect would be pointless because the contracts would already be void under the new state statute. In short, any declaration about the contract's enforceability, voidness, or validity, either way, would be an advisory opinion with no real-world consequence. Trial courts in Florida are forbidden from issuing advisory opinions, and in this case, should be dismissed. Disney wants the case fought in federal court, as it believes that it has a good constitutional argument to make about DeSantis' use of government power to punish private entities. In the federal case, Disney is asking that a judgment restore its authority over the special district, arguing that DeSantis' actions violated its constitutional rights. It also wants the judge to uphold development contracts. In addition to the motion, the company's legal team wrote, forced with a new hostile state administration, Disney aimed to protect its planned investments in Central Florida, including thousands of new jobs and billions of dollars in capital over the next decade. What about all the thousands of jobs you just eliminated? But anyway, by executing 2 development contracts with the local government body that had managed the special district where Disney had been located for more than 50 years. Public notice appeared twice in a prominent Orlando newspaper, and there were 2 public hearings on the subject over no objection. The contracts were executed in early February. The Oversight Board's chairman did not immediately return for comment. Meanwhile, the movie Strange World has been targeted by a pair. Oh, this is completely unrelated. So, yada, yada, yada. What do you guys think about all this? What's your takeaway from this new business that Disney wants this tossed out of court? Their lawsuit, that is, the countersuit from DeSantis.
CC?
Well, there's 2 things on my mind in principle here. First of all, I agree with Valiant Renegade that I do believe Disney is trying to delay things until DeSantis may inevitably leave his seat and they can deal with somebody more in line with their views. But I would also go. It was partway through what you read there. Disney, when Iger made that mistake on the first earnings call, saying that Disney is Reedy Creek, and then he did it again on a second call. It's a mistake, yeah, but I mean, I'm getting the sense that Disney really believes they are, and they don't care, like that they are more powerful. They are, and they deserve to be almost, like maximum level of hubris. They are more important than DeSantis. They are more important than the government, and they deserve to have those rights. They deserve to have that land and to make those decisions, and that they are above those rules. Now, that's just my opinion. But I'm getting that feeling, and that's kind of why they're coming from at this from such an arrogant standpoint rather than taking a more tactful approach. That's my read on it, anyways.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree with all that. That's pretty much where it's coming from.
I would defer to Valiant on this as well. But at this point, I think, this is just Disney being very, very much desperate. It's a desperate move. What do you think, Clobby?
Just well, no, it's what like CC said it can't be said better. They think they're above everything. Yeah, no, absolutely with that.
And there you go, kids. We got a couple super chats here. 6 send us in a super sticker. Thank you so much, 6. Is it a pooper sticker? Let me look. I don't know.
Oh, it's a pooper sticker.
Oh, I'm sure it is.
Is it?
Of course it is. It is. And then, thank you so much, 6. We got Goddess a Win, who sent us a Shiba dog shaking its behind with little hearts floating. I say it's farting hearts because it looks like it's coming out from its behind.
That's cool. Got that
thank you so much, Goddess.
New feature there where it stars them immediately when someone gets you a super chat or a super sticker. That's nice.
Yeah. Too bad they can't fix that with the member chats. And,
I wish they would. Yeah, that'd be nice.
Some other things. So.
Yeah, they're gonna buy their time. They want to sand us out of there. But he's gonna be around for a little while, so I don't know what they think they're gonna accomplish because he's not gonna back down from these people. Yeah,
I think this is pretty bad news for Disney, but we'll see. We shall see. In other news, though, Disney had its upfronts today, and among the announcements and stuff they discussed was the Marvel and Star Wars business and some stuff like that. If the writer strike looms, some other things that may happen there. I know that already a few shows are on hold. The writer strike looms large, even if it isn't mentioned. One needs only look at the lineup of this year's Disney upfronts or ABC's fall schedule to recognize that the company is clearly feeling the effects of the writer's strike. The vast majority of the presentation was devoted to unscripted programming like live sports, reality TV, and news. It was more than 70 minutes in before Kevin Feige took to the stage and presented footage from some new Marvel shows, more on that below, marking the first real presentation of any scripted series at the upfront. And what the upfront is where they just announce what's coming up for the rest of the year. There's also no formal mention of the strike by anyone on stage, although Rita Farrow, Disney's president of advertising sales, that's her above in the photo, did speak of difficult challenges that television was facing this year. That's this lady here. So there you go. So sports, and then no Kimmel. Star Wars. Okay, let's get to this. Marvel boss Kevin Feige and Lucasfilm head Kathleen Kennedy brought the goods.
The what? The what?
Yeah.
Yeah, they're good.
Both offering first looks at some of their upcoming Disney Plus shows. Feige kicked things off with a sneak peek at the upcoming series, Secret Invasion. I said it like that because it's a secret. Including a scene featuring Samuel L. Jackson and Don Cheadle. He then showcased footage from both Loki Season 2 and the Hawkeye spinoff and bridge for Daredevil, Echo, in addition to announcing the premiere dates for both, which we have, let me see here, where did I had that handy here somewheres, but I think I closed it. It looks like Loki and will debut on October 6th, and Echo will all drop at once on November 29th. So there you go.
And no one will hear it.
Yeah. If an Echo lands in the middle of the night, does anybody hear it? Yeah.
No.
Yeah. So that's those for anybody who's given a crap. I know, right? Kennedy was up next, offering first looks of the Star Wars shows The Acolyte and Skeleton Crew. She also played a new featurette for Ahsoka, starring Rosario Dawson. So there you go, kids. And the rest of it is a lot of yada, yada, yada. We don't
Are they
care.
diverse, by the way? Are those shows diverse?
I'm sure they're super
Good.
diverse.
Can't wait. Then I have to watch them then. I wouldn't know if they're diverse before I watch them, you know?
Diverseness everywhere.
Mm-hmm.
So, CC, are you excited? You excited for the future?
Not really, no. But my take on the news feed from what I've been reading, it suggests that this strike is going to go on for more than a few days, that it could drag on for months.
Yeah.
Which is certainly, I mean, sometimes these things are resolved quickly, and I'm sure they hope it is, because I mean, they're just trying to present what they can right now. They're not talking about it. They don't want to mention how much crap they're in if this goes on too long. But if it goes on for months, they're going to run out of rope pretty quickly. I'm not sure what they've got. Whatever they maybe can offer is whatever's really, really far along in development, but that's gonna run out real fast. So I do wonder. I wonder. I wish I could be a fly on the wall and know what they're saying in there right now, what they're thinking about how they're going to deal with this. The accolade is
right. Well, here's my thing to go off of what you're saying right now. The fact that they're dumping Echo all at once when they know they're going to have a shortage of tells me how bad that fucking show probably is. Because they're going to want to hide those numbers as best they can. Let's
go find the most obscure character we could possibly find.
Are they going to take advantage of this? Are they learning from it? I mean, Guardians 3 is doing okay, but it's not like it's doing great. Are they suddenly thinking, "Oh no, everything's great"?
It's hanging in there.
Are they actually seeing through the weeds here and still recognizing that things need to change? They haven't. I'm not. Script Doctor brought it up last week. No. They have an opportunity to make a change right now. Whether or not they're going to do it, or whether or not they're just going to try and push through the writer's strike and get to the other side of it and continue on as normal, I don't know. I'd love to know.
They got to take a look at that man in the mirror and make a change.
Yep.
Shamo.
Yes, sir.
Oh, no, boy. I have no interest in any of this shit.
I'm anti-interested in it. There is nothing. I mean. Wow. Yeah. Secret Invasion looks really terrible. I don't know if I can sit through another Loki season. That first season was so horrible. I don't know, man. Secret Invasion. Was it Echo? Again, I stress, who ever even heard of Echo? And even after watching the Hawkeye series, you don't know who Echo is because they barely say anything of it. Man, and that show was back also. So
I didn't mind Hawkeye as much. The last episode's the part I hated the most, but yeah.
I like the Secret Invasion concept. It's just,
it's
just a matter of whether it's actually done well. I mean, Filoni's movie, Echo Base Network, saying, he's going to call it. They're actually going to call it Heir to the Empire. If that happens, I mean, it's a nice name, but there's a difference between how that's actually going to be executed versus
it's funny you bring that up, CC.
Yeah.
Good segue there, actually. The Waltman 4 says the EU approves the Microsoft Activision deal. Oh, interesting. We'll have to see how that affects things going forward. I'm surprised they did. Oh, there you go. But My Time to Shine, hello, who's been a fairly decent scooper in the past, or at least somebody who's seemingly close to business in Hollywood. Posted today, 9 hours ago, shocker, not really, Dave Filoni's movie is called Star Wars, Heir to the Empire. Jon Favreau is only producing for now. It's all Filoni. And as we reported roughly a month ago, Favreau was out the door. If you remember from the Celebration business, it was all about Dave. Dave was in the house. Dave.
Always two there are, master and apprentice.
Yeah, right.
KK and Dave Filoni.
Wow. That's right. There you go.
He will take her out to become the master.
So,
that is terrible.
Yeah, I thought I'd bring that up here because I thought that was kind of interesting.
Heir to the Empire in name only.
Yeah.
I don't know if Timothy Zahn has really anything to do with it or if they're having him consult or whatever, but I wouldn't be too hopeful.
So, that's the connected news there. Boy, we're just busting through this news today.
It's not a lot.
No, there really isn't. I mean, it's kind of just scattered stuff. Really?
Yeah.
I mean, we're going to just get to that other thing that I wasn't sure. I mean, I was hoping Script Doctor would be here for this discussion at least. Because at least we got you here, Clobby, and I'm sure CC will have an opinion on this as well.
I don't know too much about the business stuff, as you know. I'm sorry about that.
No, this is not a business question. That's why I'm glad you'll probably get into this. This was something from, I believe, I don't know what interview this was taken from, but it's James Gunn talking about Superman casting and Superman.
Did exactly what we're doing now. They're going through tons and tons of actors to see who captures that spirit. The thing they don't talk about much when they talk about Christopher Reeve, they talk about his pureness, his hope, his goodness. They talk about, you know, the way that he plays Clark as being so different from the way he plays Superman and how he can turn that on in an instant. But there's this playfulness about Superman. This, when he's saving a cat, he's got that wry smile.
Bye, Frisky. Long now.
And that is one of the best parts of the movie, is the playfulness of Superman. He enjoys what he's doing. He likes helping human beings. And he did exactly what we're doing now. They're going through tons and tons
so it
That's
just loops
encouraging.
around. Yeah,
That's encouraging.
The more I hear of him talk about Superman,
the way
you're
that
right. I have the same kind of feelings as you right now, Clobby. It sounds like he's on the right path, at least.
You got to get the character right first, or nothing else matters for me anyway. And even, let's just say he makes a movie that Slaughter has faults. If Superman is right in it, and even if the movie has some problems, if he looks, by the way, these are visual characters, comic characters, so the costume's got to be right. So it's got to be. And he acts like Superman and is put together like Superman and is faithful to that. Even if the movie has a lot of flaws with the story here and there, I'll at least laud it for that.
CC, what do you think of his statement?
I love that he's tapping into the playfulness. I think there's an innocence attached to Superman. He doesn't need to be dark and gruff. And you look at the Christopher Reeve picture right in front of us. I mean, he was perfect. He doesn't have to be Arnold Schwarzenegger buff and all that, because that Superman, is coming from a planet. The concept around it is not that he's strong because he has muscles. You know, he's strong for other reasons. So a character build like Christopher Reeve is perfect. You get a nice kind of playful human actor in that role. And you do, you do, like he said, that you do the costume correctly and it should be good.
I mean, again, even flawed. So, we talk about those other movies. At least with Christopher Reeve's playing Superman, they got he saves a scene when he's in it. He's so good. And he's just incredible. We're never gonna get him back, but get somebody close, get the character correctly. And by the way, a lot of people say you can't do a darker story. No, Superman could be in a darker story, but you don't darken Superman. That's the key.
Yeah.
Soul Nightmare. I hate to say this. This is kind of a bad tape. You never had Kevin Smith talking about He-Man like you've heard James Gunn talking about Superman.
No.
In fact, I was one of the people who dug up a few of his statements where I caught him lying about even liking He-Man to begin with. There's a big difference there. big difference. Now, I get it. I get some people having, still not quite sure about, Gunn's take on this, if they're going to like this DC universe, and that's totally fair. And, there's still some people who are hung up on the Snyderverse, and I guess that's their fault they can't move on. But hey, I mean, I liked Henry Cavill too, but let's be real. He's never been Superman.
Never got a chance to play the real Superman.
No, he never got a chance to really play the role. And now at this point,
he could do it. Yeah,
he could. But I mean, where James Gunn is starting this story, he's a little too old. I understand that now. And he wants a fresh face, clearly. And some of the choices that have popped up, I don't think are horrible choices, but he has not commented on any of them yet. He said that, he's not going to until that they've decided, but yeah. Pegasus Chronicles says, Snyderverse or nothing, DC will fail without Zack Snyder.
Yeah, because they didn't fail with him.
Yeah, because they didn't fail with him,
they
right?
Didn't fail with him, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I appreciate the support, but I've been way past the Snyder stuff for a long time. I've never been a fan, and that's never been a secret, but I was happy for these Snyder fans to get their Justice League Snyder cut. And at the end of the day, that's all it was. It was
luck.
Yeah, it was just one of those things. It was all the planets lined up for it to happen. So there you go. But yeah, no, I think this is a big important piece of Superman and who he is, and something that was missing before is it didn't really feel like Superman wanted to be Superman. You know what I mean? Like it just didn't. And that's the thing. Christopher Reeve played the role with such panache, and I know it's not so much hung up on that individual per se. It's they need to find somebody with that twinkle in their eye, right? That ideal big blue Boy Scout, And as long as they find that and the script's good, I'm on board until I see anything otherwise. Pegasus Chronicle says executive meddling is not Zack Snyder's fault. #truth. Well, at the end of the day, it's still his vision, and it didn't pan out. I mean, he had his shot. He even got an extra shot with the Snyder cut. And I'll tell you right now, if the Snyder cut was a hit, we wouldn't be having this conversation. It's not the hit that a lot of the Snyder fans like to think it is. I'm sorry. It just wasn't.
Nope.
Because the facts are facts. Just plain and simple. And if you guys, want to disagree with me, that's fine. But I was there. I reported it. I was in the thick of it. I've been doing this for years. So, yeah.
Yep. It's I don't know what you can do about the cult.
No. Yeah, Brandon Routh never even got a fair shot, really, at playing the role either.
Yeah. Could have been good and a better. It would have had a script and everything. It's an earnest attempt to recapture the Reeve feel. But it was. I mean, as far as the way his casting wasn't terrible, but man, oh man, Superman Returns.
Yeah,
I did not. That's the only movie I ever walked out of.
Well, I like elements of it, but I understand why most people don't like it. Yeah. And I have many gripes with it myself, but I also was like, okay, you had the kernel of the right idea here, but you should have just...
Oh, yeah, there were just some character problems and, basic story problem, really. But, yeah, I understand what you're saying. There's some okay bits, but...
Yeah, I mean, what he should have done instead of trying to make it a sequel to the Donner Superman films is just started afresh, but just kept certain elements like the theme, right? And the tone and stuff like that. But you didn't have to make it a direct sequel. Because you have any other problem is like, what's-her-face, Kate Bosworth, or whoever's playing Lois, is like way too young because she's all of a sudden like 10 years younger than what Lois was before. And, it's really kind of built on this... Yeah, it is a sequel, but it's not kind of thing. It's like, no, you can't do this in-betweener shit in this case either. It's too wishy-washy. Yeah, exactly.
Plus, from get-go, it opens up on the wrong foot when it tells you, hey, guess what? Superman's been gone for 5 years. What?
Right, making him a deadbeat dad on top of it all.
Yeah, and of course, I guess he didn't know he was a dad. I don't know, but how is he a dad anyway? It's a mess of a movie. It's such a problem.
That's the problem. It opens up too many holes, and it just doesn't. Yeah. The ending climax was a letdown on top of it all.
Walked out, huh, CC? Wow, man, I haven't walked out of too many movies before, but man.
No, I usually don't. It's not really my thing, but.
What part made you finally go, oh, fuck this shit?
I'm out of here.
Lex Luthor in the boardroom, whatever scene that was, it's been a while, obviously, because I'd never watched it since. Whatever that scene was when he was in that boardroom. Talking to everyone. That was the moment, for whatever reason, that was it. I was gone. I'd had enough, and I'd had enough before that, but that was the moment. And like I said, because I haven't watched it since, I can't give you more specifics. I just remember that scene.
I mean, I've never heard that kind of a reaction. I mean, I've heard a lot of people in hindsight, like really didn't like it. It was boring. They don't like Creeper Man when he's like snooping on Lois. And the other complaint I hear is he doesn't punch anybody. He just punches the ground.
I think the other thing is I was a really, really big fan of Lois and Clark at the time, growing up as well. So it was a bit, between that and the original movies, it definitely didn't jive with with what I expected or would have hoped for.
Yeah.
No, it's totally understandable. I walked out. I enjoyed it, but I walked out more excited for the possibility of the future. That's what got me jazzed. And then when I realized this is not going anywhere, I'm like, well, that's a bummer. But then I got really excited for Henry Cavill. But yeah,
we're talking about many, many years ago now too. So I mean,
25 years ago, or 20 years ago.
I should come back to it. I should come back to it and watch it again and see if I feel differently.
I wonder if you will. I mean, I'm not expecting you to like it per se, but at the same time, it's like one of those movies where I wonder if people watch now after Man of Steel and all the other stuff.
I might go back and watch it this week just for the hell of it.
Just to see it differently, maybe. Yeah.
You made me. I went back and watched Superman 3, and then the other night after we did that Showtime, I went back and watched Superman 4. Now that was torture.
I watched Superman 4 last night for the first time in probably 15 years. I didn't hate it. I did
God,
not
it's
hate
so
it.
terrible,
And not
man.
only it is got some terrible moments, but I'm like, you know what? There is a good movie here. There is.
Yeah, but-
The only problem this movie has is that they broke one of the golden rules of Superman. And I think you know what I'm talking about, Klobby, and that
I'm not sure what you're talking about, but I'm making him a dictator is probably the worst thing they ever did.
that it's along with that. It's basically they always had this rule at DC that I know of that you might know something about, where basically they wouldn't allow Superman and other superheroes to deal with like real life things like nuclear war,
Exactly. You don't do
the
that
Vietnam War, World War II. They're like, yeah, we can have a cover where Hitler's getting the shit kicked out of him by Superman, but that's not going to be the main story, because
They did it in the
that's the
Golden
problem.
Age, but later they didn't much. No, you're right.
Well, yeah, because Superman could go into the Vietnam War and end it single-handedly in 5 minutes. I mean, that's kind of the whole point of the Watchmen, right?
Watchmen doing it, sure.
Exactly. So, like, that's kind of one of those golden rules. And as much as Christopher Reeve's heart was in the right place, and the ending of the movie says exactly that, is that what you're saying, and if the chopped up version doesn't say it as well, but I watched the movie, then I watched all the deleted scenes. And I'm like, okay, I see more now what they were trying to do here. And it really was a story where Superman had to realize, this is why I can't deal with things like this.
I can't be a dictator, but he was told not to.
Yeah.
He should have known better. That was an unbelievably bad setup. But I'll tell you what gets me is I was going to ask you, since you watched those deleted scenes, because I haven't seen it in about 20-something years either or longer. So the scene where Mark Pillow, the greatest actor of all time, the Nuclear Man, or Nuclear Man, as was his.
I have your voice.
I
You have my voice.
My voice. So when he sees the picture of Mariel Hemingway and decides to stalk her or whatever, he flies out. Now, this is after Superman had cured himself. Superman had cured himself, right? We're supposed to believe. And next thing, your next shot is him on the street attacking people. And then we see Superman. Like, where'd he come from? It's like, the girl's gone, so you won't find her or whatever. Then he threatens to kill if you. Okay, well, you can have her, I guess. And
there's a whole bunch of shit missing there, trust me. But
it's a big hole. It's like, what the hell did I just see?
There's big chunks of this movie missing.
Right.
And they
my
don't even have all of
understanding
it.
is the movie was completely messed up in the process of production.
Yeah, see, because for the short version, for those who don't understand, Christopher Reeve had this grandiose idea for Superman 4. Canon Films bought the right from the Salkinds to do Superman 4. They embezzled a bunch of the money because at that time is when they were getting wrapped up with the mob and all this other shit. And so they actually didn't spend that much on the movie. So they were cutting shit left and right. So then the script got rewritten to be lower budget, and that's still, it was too late. The train was off down the tracks now. Christopher Reeve and stuff couldn't do anything to really change much. He fought hard to try and make that movie better. In fact, the rumor is that he almost ghost directed that movie in some cases. There is a good movie there, but it got so butchered, and even the deleted scenes, they're not even complete on the Blu-ray. There's still a bunch missing, you can tell. But you're right, Klobby. There's huge chunks of the movie missing. In fact, there is a bit where they cut out, because that's not even the first Nuclear Man.
Yeah, the first Nuclear Man's cut out. He's in the book and even in the comic, I think.
The comic book is closer to what the original script was, from what I've been.
Because I read the novel right before the movie came out.
Okay, I want to get my hands on that because I've been looking for the script. Because actually, Klobby, I was going to talk to you about this, and I also talked to the Austin Trench, the guy who wrote the Canon Film Guide. I'm like, do you have the original script of Superman? And he's like, no, I got the shooting script. But he's like, as far as I know, the DC special, which I would assume be the adaptation, he's like, that's closer to the original script.
Yes.
And I was thinking the same thing about the novel as well. So I was like thinking we could all read those with Script Doctor and you and whoever else wanted to get involved, and him maybe talk about what might have been. We'll have to see if we can get it.
Get it anywhere though.
Yeah, on eBay or whatever. Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, it'd be interesting to see what that movie was initially intended to be. But yeah, the movie that came out is
still a dumb story, no matter what you
truncated
do.
mess.
It's a dumb story either way.
Well, he actually kidnaps her, and then the other part is what you're talking about.
Her once he brings her into space. Yeah.
Yeah, there's two parts to that, actually. Because that's two bits mixed together. Because he kidnaps her the first time, and Superman saves her, if I remember right. And then he's like, I want to use you for bait. And then he uses her for bait, and then that's where it picks up from. It's a whole, like, fucking... It's like, where's all this shit in the movie? I'm sorry.
Into space, dude.
Yeah, the whole space bit is so fucking stupid.
You know what I wish, Tom? As dumb and unbelievably idiotic as the story is, someone with today's technology would at least get this thing and add new
Fix it.
effects and make all the fights at least look good and the flying
There's a
scenes
way.
look better. But they got to take out these stupid scenes where they're putting walls together.
Yes.
Vision.
Yes.
The new superpower of
That's
wall
exactly what I was
creating
thinking of, Klobby. That's the thing. There's a way you can re-edit this movie. If you had all the deleted scenes, you might be able to make a much better movie. Because here's the problem that the bummer of them losing the original Nuclear Man is that's the closest to Bizarro Superman we've ever had on
like
live actions. He was just like Bizarro Superman,
Yes.
right?
Yeah.
And so, like, in that sense, like, I would love to see the Bizarro cut or whatever you want to call it.
Like the Bizarro cut, yeah. And fix the terrible green screen flying scenes.
Yeah, there's a few things I would edit, like you said.
Cut out the scene where they're putting the walls together with his vision.
All you need to do is cut it right
wall
where, because I was
vision.
actually, this is where I was watching it last night and I'm paying attention to this shit. I'm like, oh, you could just cut it right there. You just stop it right there. You don't show him, you just show him land and okay, everybody's okay, cut it. Go to the next scene.
Right.
But yes, you'd have to recut all the fight scenes because they are so fucked up.
Especially the Statue of Liberty, where Superman and Nuclear Man must be at least like 100 feet tall.
Because there's still more missing deleted scenes. Like we don't see him getting sicker and sicker and sicker. Like because we jump in the movie from him being kind of sick to him looking like frail and like he's dying. It's like, holy crap, what happened? Like there's a whole bunch in there that's missing that's not in the deleted scenes either, where he was getting sicker from being poisoned by Nuclear Man.
I remember reading the book and somehow right before the movie came, like 2 days before the movie came out back in 1987, thinking, it's not too bad. I didn't think it was going to be that bad. I was like, it's a stupid idea, Superman doing that with the nukes, but I don't know. Maybe the book didn't make me think that the movie wasn't going to be quite that bad. And then,
yeah, because like at the end of the movie, his big speech, even though it's cut down, his basic idea of it was, I can't interfere like this again, even though I thought I could make a difference. There's still going to be men who are going to want to, wage war, and it's not my place to do this.
Jim Broadbent and William Hootkins.
And they kind of tried to skirt that in the beginning with, I don't know if you noticed or remember that in the story where like he picks up the last element of the last crystal from his
yes. Why was that in the barn?
That was where they hid it, I guess. But
remember,
like the whole point of that is his mother says that is the last element that he has left of Krypton. So when that is gone, that means he is now has no home or whatever, no connection to his home or whatever is supposed to be. So he's trying to make this whole play of like, yeah, I'm an Earth citizen now, right?
Why was that in the barn?
I
remember
don't
the barn. The other ship was in the barn. That's where you got the first tube of Prel in there.
Well, that's supposed to be the same ship. That's what it's supposed to be. But like,
oops, you forgot this piece.
Yeah, there's supposed to be one more.
I'll stick it in my jacket. I might need this in the movie later.
I might need it later.
But it was fun. It was actually as painful as some of it is now, 40,000 years later, sitting through it again, just because, we all talked about Superman 3 the other night. It made me go, you know what? I watched Superman 3. Let me watch 4. It's only been 20, 30 years.
It's bad. Don't get me wrong. It is bad.
But it's still fun to watch. In that sense.
Kill Superman.
Reeves still is just fantastic. Reeves, even in that, he's amazing. And
there's some good bits with Lex Luthor that got cut out too, because when he goes in there the first time to get Lacey or whatever, that's where she's at, and Lex and Lenny are like trying to get the fuck out of there. And Superman like catches up and he's like, it's like Lex is like, we turn over a new leaf. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to create a Nuclear Man. You go do what you got to do. We'll wait right here. It's like there's some good bits that are cut out too. It's like, oh,
I saw a picture of Mark Pillow signing autographs at a con recently. I know you're shocked to know that he doesn't look like that anymore.
Right.
I mean, dude. Oh wow. Time is evil.
What's the deal with John Cryer as Lex Luthor's nephew?
Oh, he was terrible.
I don't know. I mean, he was
He's annoying. Lenny Luthor.
I like John Cryer, but I wonder if maybe it was meant to be Ned Beatty and they just couldn't work out a deal with him, perhaps. And they just they rewrote it as his nephew. I don't know.
Right. Should have been him and Mrs. Tessmacher, but they didn't want to bring them back, I guess. I love the scene where they've got Superman's piece of hair holding up 1,000 pounds, but they can cut it with a little like wire cutter.
Yeah, I know. I noticed that too. That's the thing. There's too many little things that you're just like, huh? But if it's supposed to be steel and you can cut steel, like it's as strong as steel, so
There
steel
you go.
bolt cutters, I guess.
It's a fair cop.
Well, that's the
a
thing is
toughie right
Superman
there.
is not overpowered in those movies either, Klobby. I mean, when you're talking about 3, I mean,
Pretty
that's
powerful.
the point. He's powerful,
Yeah.
but he's not as OP as he was in like, you know, the Snyder films or anything.
We can bench press California. That's good enough for me.
Goddess of Whim says, if you had to pick one, Superman 4 or Batman and oh, easy Superman 4.
Yeah,
Easy Superman 4. Plus, it's a half hour shorter.
Right, Batman and Robin is just. Was it? I hate to quote Kevin Smith. He called it the gay Fantasia. It's just horrible. It's not even. It's tough to laugh with. It's like, man, why would? At least I think it is. Some people like it. I guess.
Oh God! And this line is so bad, Joe Pat. If you're not telling me, I will hurt people.
I hurt people.
How is that even remotely like Zod is so much cooler. I'm sorry, and I love Michael Shannon, but Terrence Howard or not Terrence Howard, Terrence Stamp is
Terrence Stamp's great.
Zod is just amazing, and I watched the theatrical and the Donner cut back to back the other night, and it's just some of his lines. Why do you say this to me when you know I will kill you for it?
Yes, Luther, ruler of Australia.
Ruler of
and
Australia. What else do you
Cuba.
want?
Activate the machine. Yeah.
Cuba.
Cuba.
Just something for nostalgic value, you know.
You notice the actors in Superman 4 that didn't realize, and the arms dealer guys, one of them was Jim Broadbent and the other one was William Hootkins from Star Wars and all those other movies.
No, I guess I did.
And Batman.
Yeah. We got some other super chats here to get through though. Let's see these. We've got Ginger Adventure who says, "Will there be more Clark than Superman in James?" I don't think so. I mean, part of the reason for in previous Superman films, Superman was used sparingly because of the effects, more or less.
Not a concern now, but
yeah, not so much a concern now. I think he's just gonna hone in on because he's always shared a lot of stuff that has to do with the Donner Superman. So I think that's the thing. He's gonna really concentrate more on Superman just being Superman, getting the hang of being, you know, this whole idea of the dual identities, probably the loves triangle between Clark, Superman, and Lois. I think all those things will play into it. I don't think it's going to be a direct remake of Donner's film or anything, but I think it's going to have very much that kind of a feel to it. Tongue in cheek, but a little wink to the camera from, you know, not literally, but you know what I mean.
I just hope he doesn't. He holds back on his propensity for being raunchy. You just don't have to do it.
No, I don't think we'll have to worry about that. I mean, and I think between his Guardians films, Super, and some of the other movies put together, I think he totally understands what he's working with here. I could be wrong, but at the end of the day,
I don't want him saying the word shit, and I don't care if anyone else in the movie says it, but I don't want Superman saying it. No, it sounds weird. I just don't want it.
No, I don't think he will. I really don't think he will.
Gunn's more than a one-trick pony at this point.
Exactly.
We'll see.
There's evidence.
I mean,
of that.
you've got
we'll have to see, but yeah.
You got so much of his other films that are one so different than the other. And his Suicide Squad stuff is even different than, you know, his stuff he did for Marvel.
Sure hope so.
I mean, the only time I would really say that his humor was way out of place was the F word in the Guardians of the Galaxy 3.
Yeah,
it could have been utilized so much better.
Indeed. Language. That was hilarious in Avengers Age of Ultron. Oh, someone gonna forget that Cap just said language.
Hey, somebody
For gosh sake, watch your language.
I'm never gonna live
but
that
seriously,
down.
And Cap doesn't do it, and Superman shouldn't do it, and everyone else does it. It's fine. You know?
I think Superman will be a lot like Captain America in that respect. Pegasus Chronicle says, "I'm not watching anything Gunn DC related." Promise. Okay, that's your prerogative, man.
There you go.
I'm not telling you have to either.
I won't tell you.
Yeah. Joshika's Doggy Woggy is here and he says, "I'm behind, but I don't get why the Snyderverse is beloved by some people. It is bad. Visually, some of it looks cool, but a movie needs more than looks." Look, if I had an answer for this, Joshika, I could give you that. I understand some people like that type of storytelling, and that's cool, but it didn't work. So at the end of the day, it's one of those things that they have to understand.
Jessica's simple. I think a lot of people like the edgy stuff, and that's fine. That's what they're into. They want to see blood and guts. They want to see ultra violence. They want to see carnage and nihilism, and they don't mind if it's mixed with superheroes. And they're fine with that. And hey, I absolutely vehemently disagree with that. I think it's horrid, but that's just what some people are into, and that's the way it is.
Don't get me wrong. I think Snyder could have made a hell of a Batman movie, but he's just the wrong guy for something like Superman. Superman needs an optimist. It can be, you can have a darker story for Superman. Don't get me wrong. Superman 2 is a darker story for the original Superman.
The story, yes. It's just don't darken Superman.
No. And that's where Donner, and I hope James Gunn understands Superman better than Snyder and others, even Bryan Singer, who have taken him on, and that is this. Bryan Singer at least kind of got this idea, but it was just the story around him sucked, so I'll give him that much. But the point is, as I'm getting to, is you can't change Superman. Superman is apple pie. Superman is Americana. He has to stay exactly the same in a sense that he always stands for morals, values, and at the end of the day, whatever it is that the right thing to do is, Superman will do that. That's what makes Superman Superman. The rest of the world could change around him, right? Donner did a beautiful job of that, right? Superman, like he stands right there and tells Lois, I stand for truth, justice, and the American way. And she laughs. She goes, ha, good luck with that. You'll be fighting every politician in Washington. Or whatever it is. And then that's a joke, but at the same time, that's my point. That scene is exactly my point. And you can even make their relationship to the next level, because that was actually one of the first times, I believe, outside of the comics where they've gone beyond this playfulness and actually gave them a true romance on screen. And that played a big part in that film and in making Lois a modern woman, but Superman's still Superman, right? They took all the things that was Lois before, but they made her a modern woman, but it still worked within the character. And you get the pink scene right following that, right? Where she's like, what color of underwear am I wearing? Where she thinks she's going to get Superman with something like that. And then he comes back real quick with pink. And it's just and he gets away with it because of the innocent Boy Scoutness. Now, if you tried to do that scene in a Snyder film, it would come off weird, dark, and creepy.
Yes. Like all of his movies. Yeah. He is weird, dark, and creepy. So there you go. I hear you, though. Absolutely.
And Superman would just go into a soliloquy about how much he hates being Superman and how unfair life is.
Mopey man is what they should be calling.
And I'm sorry. I'm not trying to dump on it for those who enjoy it. It wasn't Superman.
Nope. Man of Steel.
Yeah. And then Pilgrim Media says, why is General Zod actor standing up for Ira? I think he means Ezra. I really don't know.
Unless he means...
They're in a movie together. I know that. Oh, is he standing up for the IRA? I don't know.
I don't know what that meant. If he means
I don't know what the IRA. I think he means Ezra is what he meant.
I don't know. Yeah.
Because that's what he did like 2 weeks ago. Yeah, I made a comment on that.
Oh, well, he's in the movie with him. And by the way, that guy, Michael Shannon's an idiot. Big time. He says really unbelievably moronic things in public. So nothing new there.
Good actor, but
yeah.
I can imagine. He's kind of like Pedro Pascal in that respect.
Mike. Sorry, Mike.
Mikey.
Sorry, Mikey.
Says I just landed in Atlanta and I turned on MEAD. And again, more Snyderverse talk. Eek.
Hey, it wasn't my fault this time, buddy. It wasn't my fault this time.
We got a couple more super chats. Look at this. Esther Dickerson sends in $4.99. Excuse me. Hail Tom and panel found out from TLM Disney plus Chapek is now being sued by shareholders as of 5/12 for securities fraud. Man, Disney stepped into. Yeah, I wanted to talk about this, but I didn't get any of my money guys or my Valiants or my cultures in here, so it'll probably be a topic for tomorrow morning's morning show. So tune in for more of that. But yeah, I tried getting through the other stuff, and we didn't really have much to say about that. So I'm like, yeah, I'm not even going to bother with this. We'll just get to the fun stuff.
I don't follow that stuff as much. I got to admit.
Yeah,
I should. I know, but I never see it until later. And then you got Valiant. We can watch him for that. Sorry.
Yeah, Mario Pelotti sends in 550 Canadian. Says Tom, look for a price production to see what Soup 4 could have been. A price production. All right, I'll check that out. Nick,
is that a site?
Is it a YouTube channel?
Yeah. What is that?
Hey,
Mario. What is it? Site or something? Yeah. What's up?
What about
32
pizza?
Flavors. He has 32 flavors on his pizza.
Price production. USA D Boys. I don't think this is it. This looks like boxing stuff here.
Weird.
That's not it.
Well, the
hold
novelization
on.
is definitely from an early script.
Oh, I think I found the right place here.
Then,
Videos. All right. Nuclear Man, a bunch of stuff. Superman 2. Okay. All right. This is something I'll have to look into, I guess.
Yeah.
Okay. He's doing a restoration of Superman 4. All right.
Is he? Oh, okay.
Ooh,
Fix
you
it.
got my
At least-
attention.
At least fix the stupid effects. I mean, you can't fix the dumb
I
story.
wonder if he can get the rest of the. Yeah, I wonder if he can get his hands on the rest of the.
You're not going to fix that lousy story.
But
but
this
you
is
might
the
make it
same
look
guy.
good.
Okay, I know who this guy is. He did this. You guys might recognize this.
Oh, the Hulk, Superman Hulk thing?
I don't know if he did that, but he might have because he did this squash up here.
Oh,
Supergirl meeting.
Supergirl.
We never even heard of you. Thank you.
Oh, I
have
watched
to
that
go.
recently.
I have to return this to where it belongs.
I know that. Care.
Oh, man.
Take care.
Thank you, cousin.
We should have got that scene.
Yeah.
They should have had that
I
happen. Oh,
agree.
that's beautiful.
Ah.
That's beautiful.
Nice.
Wow.
Yeah.
That would have been. I don't know why they say Christopher Reeve didn't want to. It was her movie, all this kind of stuff, and he didn't want to.
I think he saw the script and he was like,
Encroach on
fuck
encroach.
that.
It was directed by the guys that directed Jaws. The guy who directed Jaws 2.
Janelle Swartz or whatever, yeah.
You know, Swartz. Yeah. So, but still, I watched it again the other day, and it's still. So it was just as bad as it was in the theaters way back when.
It's
But still,
cheesy, bad.
it's more
yeah.
fun to watch now when you get older. And
Yeah.
At least she's
It's a
wonderful.
cartoon.
She's a great casting. Music's brilliant. And music one, and
Oh,
even
yeah.
the flying scenes are pretty good. It's just
Now, this is-
a lame story.
This is something you wanted to talk about, Clobberin. Waltman 4 sends at $1.99, and Miss Marvel just died in the comics. What?
In the Spidey
So what's this
comic.
all about? Yeah.
Well, we got a. I can pull up that article or whatever.
I can
Find
pull
it.
it. That's
Sure,
from the
one of y'all.
Amazing Spider-Man number 26 that's
Right.
coming out from the current run from Zeb
Oh.
Wells and John Romita Jr. It's a spoiler for an issue that's supposed to come out like tomorrow, I
coming out.
guess.
Yeah, this
Yeah,
week. I guess.
and there's a lot of hype around it being this big death, which obviously nowadays in comics that means absolutely
Means
nothing.
nothing.
To be even
Yeah,
more
exactly.
fair, it hasn't for the last 20 years. It's the most anticlimactic character, and of the few people in my shop reading Marvel, the few of them that are reading is Spider-Man, and they're like hanging on. None of them are raving about it. None of them are raving
Everyone's
about it
hating this
whatsoever.
story from what I
It's
heard.
more of like a they're just buying it just to complete the numbers, because there are people who are completists. I'm not one of them, even for Spider-Man. And they all were banking that Mary Jane was going to die because they did this really convoluted storyline with her character. It's trust me,
it
like
sounds weird.
it was a bunch of like time travel levels that like rivals the X-Men. And the X-Men have a fetish for time travel, so that should tell you something. This one's even more complicated. Everyone thought it was going to be Mary Jane was going to die. They even got like the covers centered around her. And by the way, they girl bossed her character. They girl bossed her.
Of
And
course.
Miss Marvel is the character they end up killing off. I don't know the why, but I saw the pages because there are leaks going around of the book. But the art is bad. And that's saying a lot because Romita Jr., I did like a lot of his Daredevil stuff during the Innocenti days. But man, and I'll even admit I could tolerate it in degrees in his original Spider-Man run with Straczynski. I didn't love it, but I could do it in degrees. It was tolerable parts, but I have issues with some of the faces. But nowadays, it's just so bad. It's the face. I thought the faces were bad then in the first Spider-Man run he did. Now he makes himself from 20 years ago look amazing, and I was like. Now I'm just like, yeah, folks. This is nothing. This is a big nothing to see here. They're gonna probably bring back her character when the Marvels movie comes out.
Yepper. Well,
That's what I was
Anything
thinking.
to add to
This is
that,
just-
Clobby?
now I'm just going to say that they pulled this before a couple of times where they would kill a character when they got a movie coming out. Now, I don't give two craps about this character, whether they kill her or not. I don't care about her dumb movie. I'm not going to go see it. It just occurs to me when you have a looming movie and coming up in a couple of months, You don't kill the character in the comic. They did this with Captain America. I think DC did it with Batman at one point. I think who else? Was it Iron Man? That was done even with Iron Man, I think, before Iron Man 3 came out or whatever.
They did do that with Iron Man. They do is they put him in a coma. They did some dumb thing where they put him in a coma. Yeah.
Right. It's just asinine that you got. I mean, again, I don't care what they do with this character, but I mean, you're going to kill her when you got a movie coming up. Now, she might be alive by the time the movie comes back up.
That's it. Is it just a stunt where
they're always
going to bring her back the next issue?
No matter
again?
what. Even if it ended up being MJ, it would still be a stunt because it's centered around numbers and them doing these big reveals. Like,
nobody ever stays dead but Uncle Ben.
Uncle Ben
and Gwen Stacy.
And
what about Spider-Gwen?
In the 20th century, we used to say nobody stays dead but Bucky and Uncle Gwen, but that got changed.
Mm-hmm. Nah, it's honestly, it's just a big nothing burger, and of course they're going to try to hype it up because here's the thing: they're trying to get people to have demand for Kamala Khan's character. I've not watched the show. I'm not going to knock on it, or because I've not seen it, but I'm aware of that people have been very kind of just like a big towards Miss Marvel. Not to be fair, when her first run came out, it sold decently. It did. I wasn't really into it. I can at least see why some were into it. It was a very slice of life type of story. But then the second volume hit, which was when the post-Secret Wars, All New, All Different Marvel happened. And when that run hit, any goodwill that G. Willow Wilson had with the fans on that book instantly shattered that first issue. I remember that because even though I didn't read the shop, the few people who I knew were reading it were immediately turned off by it. And that's basically just kind of been the book since. It's a stunt to try to get people to like her or miss her because they've done all these volumes with their characters and they all end up getting canned. They put her in the Avengers video game, made her front and center for that. That got canned. And obviously, regardless of how we feel about the show that came out last summer, obviously that didn't do good as well. And on top of it, we got The Marvels movie coming out, and the demand is, not really much of a demand. So they're definitely trying. Sana Amanat and crew are trying very hard to get people to get invested in this character. So they're hoping this death is a last-ditch effort to get them to get into her. Think, oh no, poor thing. But it's really just more of a service to fans. Like, oh yeah, hey, great, you kill the character, you're gonna bring her back anyway. So it's just everything about it.
Yeah, these are ways
they did
of
a
just
Spider-Man comic. That's the weirdest part about it. They did a Spider-Man comic.
That's the only shit anybody buys.
Yeah, that's when you knew
Marvel,
they couldn't even give her the honor of giving her own death and doing it in a Miss Marvel book. They had to do it in a Spider-Man book because, yes, Tom, you're right. It's the only Marvel book that's selling right now. It's the only one. And they knew if they put it in her own book, no one's going to talk about it at all. So this is nothing more than a chasing headlines. Won't mean anything in a week from now.
Oh,
it's a fart in the wind.
Always is.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Fart in the wind. There's a fart in the wind. I can be a bad guy in Hulk 2. Mellow Mutts. How you doing, Mellow Mutts? Sends in $9.99. Says, spare the panel almighty Latinx Iron Man. The Snyder talk is my fault. I was formerly known as Joshica's Doggy Woggy. Too hard to say. Also, Atlanta is a place that should be avoided at all costs. Well, I can't speak for Atlanta. I've never been there, but I've heard things.
I've been there zillions of times.
I didn't have an issue with your previous name, but good to know that you are now dubbed Mellow Mutts.
Yes.
Awesome sauce. Thank you. And then we've got Mario Pelotti, who sends in another one. Thank you so much. Says, would like to hear from you about the clip named Superman 4, Lacey no longer in space, plus new demise for Nuclear Man. Okay, let's see how much we can get away with here.
What happened?
He wants us to... I guess so. Yeah.
It's so ridiculous. He flies her into space.
Yeah.
It's like
It is
fine.
laughably dumb.
It's so stupid.
And the effects are so horrible.
And the fight on the moon was so stupid too. Oh god.
Oh
Well, the fight on the moon wouldn't have been so bad, but you can see all the backgrounds and shit.
Yeah.
Okay, so no, Lacey no longer in space. Whoops, I got this way fast.
Oh, why did he push the moon? How you like how he pushes the moon in front of the sun?
That's amazing, though.
I mean,
yeah, because the sun's only like, you know, a
that
couple
doesn't cause any
thousand
damage.
miles away.
It
Yeah.
doesn't cause any damage or anything, did it?
Nah, nothing. It's temporary. Okay, so he didn't get all the way to space this time. That's basically.
That's better because
Yeah.
he got in space in the other one.
Yeah.
Mario Hemingway was quite hot.
Yeah, she was. Had him fall in the water. This is like totally different, yeah.
Scene or something?
No, this is his. He put this together. The same guy who did the scene we just watched.
Okay.
So then now he takes him in outer space.
Let me take you to kill you.
And he found a black hole.
What? I found a black hole for jumping in. You didn't agree with Alan Moore comment?
That'll deal with him.
Nice.
That was cool.
Killed his ass.
Yeah, that's cool. I like that.
Wow.
Yeah, much
Jack
better.
Snyder
Big
made that
improvement.
and he killed him.
Yeah. No kidding.
That's facts.
That was awesome. Yeah. I hope this guy finishes this. That'd be awesome. Especially now that the 4K's out. Maybe he can use that. Yeah.
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 Superman take out.
Thank
the
you.
trash
Thank
with
you
a
for that,
comment.
Mario. Then JRG Project says Kane Parker's Scarlet Spider is my favorite Spider-Man comic. They all already ruined Ben Reilly. Kane would wipe the floor with the current MCU. I'm not familiar
There you
really
go.
with this one.
That's much later than the.
I'm familiar with this
Riley.
character.
Riley, yeah.
He has his fans. I'll put it that way. He has his
Yeah.
fans.
He does. I think I bought some of those years ago.
Sorry, that was a wormhole. Mark's probably right. Yeah, I think it was.
Yeah, he just dropped me. Maybe it was the Phantom Zone. It just, that's the thing. He should have sent him into the Phantom Zone, though. That was, bring up a
It
Phantom
was the
Zone. protector,
Phantom
but-
Zone.
Could've
Zod's
flew into the
like,
fortress. Yeah.
who is this imbecile? I'm Nuclear Man.
I'm nuclear man. Oh,
Nuclear.
Oh
man.
no, he sounds like that idiot from Earth. What is it? Lex Luthor, ruler of Australia.
and Cuba.
He has my voice.
Well done. No, my goodness.
I don't know why. Did that guy really have that crappy of a voice that they're like, we got to give him
Well, he's
Gene
another
Hackman's voice?
I guess he's another Clinton Spilsbury.
What
I
was
guess.
that?
He's another Clinton Spilsbury. Legend of the Lone Ranger, where he had his whole little movie was dubbed over by James Keats. I mean, he's just
The one I would
the
remember
actor.
more would be Flash Gordon, but yeah, okay, I didn't know
was
about
he,
that
but
one.
he was dubbed, right? Yeah, but yes, that's the more. See, I never even knew for the longest time that Sam J. Jones was. I don't know, in fact, was he dubbed for the whole movie though?
I think so.
He may have been, but I never really thought about it. But Clinton Spilsbury was in Legend of the Lone Ranger is dubbed his whole movie is dubbed by James
Darth
Keats.
Maul, yeah. At least it's not Stacy Keach. It'd be different.
Stacy would have been a little bit, would have been more.
I'm the Lone Ranger.
Well, James is his brother.
Is it really? Okay.
Yes, yeah. I love Stacy Keach.
Who's this? Who is this? This is Project Hard Hat. Who is it? Hard Ass? No. Hard Hat. Lard Ass. Hard Hat.
Mike Hammer.
You know who this is? No. Bye-bye, Lard Ass. Sorry, that's what everybody Stacy Keach. I think of Cheech and Chong. Yellow Flash is in the house. How you doing?
Yellow Flash, what's up?
I saw.
Yeah, we could probably get
he's right
Sam.
about
Yeah,
that. I
we could
know. I'm
probably
gonna
get
try
Sam.
to contact him myself because I
Yeah.
saw he
Sam
was
J.
on I
Jones?
think Billy Tushy's. He's on Billy Tushy's channel.
He launched his own comic. Is that what you're saying?
Yep, he launched his own.
Yeah.
Sam
comic.
Jones. Okay, cool.
Yeah, Sam
Mhm.
Jones. I'm gonna contact him myself because I know I
what's
was
it like?
shocked when I saw him talking with the drinker. I'm like, no way, it's Sam Jones. And
What's
now
it,
all things on Tushy.
Yeah, well, to see that, what comic is that?
I'll get let me get the deets on that.
Cool, no biggie. I did not know that. Wow, that is wild, weird stuff.
Weird.
Ed, we'd have to get that guy on here tonight, Ed. Flash Gordon guy.
I'm drunk.
Is Ed? You look a little pale there. Is Doc here tonight, Ed? I didn't see Doc over there.
I might need my stomach pumped.
Sam, it says Sam Jones saves the world / universe.
Oh, cool.
Coolness.
Cool beans.
I'd buy that for $1.
And I would too. Maybe even $2.
I see what you did there,
Max. I'm
Who's
sorry.
Klobby impersonating? Come on.
Oh, he's just teasing me because I'm doing
Dude,
the lousy.
I
no.
hope so.
For doing
That's
a
a
lousy
pretty
Johnny
good.
Carson.
That's a good Johnny Carson. That
I
was
get
like
picked on.
an
I
8.
get picked on for that. My buddy Matt, he said he hates my Johnny Carson and my Howard Cosell. He likes all my other ones, but he hates those. I'm hurt. I'm hurt. Max, I'm hurt. He's gonna be mean to me. Oh no.
That was a pretty good Johnny Carson. That was probably better than Rich Little's.
Oh,
Like
no,
that's overrated one.
Rich Little is one of the funniest guys we've ever had on here. He's a very talented individual, and I've read your book, by the way, sir, and it's really amazing. Johnny Carson, always read the book. And
You just won. My Ed McMahon is horrible.
You did. I was more of a. You did more of like a Phil Hartman Ed McMahon. Right?
Yes, that's the problem. That's
And it was Dana Carvey.
Dana Carvey is he was more nasally. Yeah,
Johnny didn't like he laughed. He had a good sense of humor about it though. Because remember that movie, The Late Shift, where they made it about that stuff. Rich Little actually played Johnny.
Played
Carson
him. Yeah. Well, it's because he actually looked like him at that point, kind of. But yeah.
Yes, he did. Thank you, KR. Thank you kindly. He doesn't like my Howard Cosell either for some reason. I don't know why.
Pretty good. I don't know why
I miss Howard. Thank you.
I would know. I'm a voice guy, so.
Thank you, sir.
It's more than just sounding like the person. It's about inflection. It's like when I do my Brando. That's not what Marlon Brando really sounds like. You know that, right? I'm really doing the exaggeration.
It's pretty good, though. See, that's great. And by the way, at least people still know who Brando is. No one even knows who Howard Cosell is anymore on Monday Night Football. What a football player.
This segment is brought to you by your grandpa.
Are you trying to say that nobody knows who Johnny Carson is anymore?
My. I was watching a bunch, in preparation for our Superman 3 discussion, I was watching a bunch of the Johnny Carson with Richard Pryor. Boy, did he let loose back in the day on that show.
Oh man, I love that Johnny Carson
shit, they had
channel.
to bleep him out a lot.
The Johnny Carson channel, that was great. But yes.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
Now, you can censor this, right? I can curse.
Oh man, and when Rodney Dangerfield would go on there, holy crap.
Because he goes, my daughter, she discovered that my grandma who raised me, she's like, my grandma's just straight up racist. Or my mom's And one night I knew the kids had had enough. When my daughter comes in the room, she goes, Dad, what the fuck do they want from me? Now you know how that child feels.
Inconceivable.
And you can't yell at them for cursing.
Love it.
And I said, child,
man.
what do you mean? She, Grandma is racist. Go watch the segment. It's hilarious. I can't do it justice, but just Richard Pryor going off about his kid, and it's hilarious.
Nice.
And Burt Reynolds was another one who was good back in the day on all the talk shows too.
Oh God, he told fun stories, man. He told some crazy stories.
I watched his Saturday Night Live from 1980 the other night.
Oh, really? Nice.
Yeah, they had a skit on there they never get away with nowadays.
Like almost everything they did back then.
But I mean, really, like, because what it was is there was his parents trying to pawn their daughters off on Burt Reynolds. And of course, the daughters are only like 16 and 14. That's the kind of the gist of the skit, and it's just like, whoa.
Comedy, we miss you.
Back then, Burt could get away with fucking murder, though. So.
Yes, he was fantastic. That guy was. There's a guy that can make crappy, like Christopher Reeve. He can make crappy sequels, and you'd still watch him. Like those
Right?
The Bandit sequels are garbage, but he's still in them. He's in them, so they're really bad.
Especially that thirst. Now, speaking of a movie we've never seen the other version of, I'd love to see the other version of Smokey and the Bandit just for science.
The one without him.
Yeah, Smokey is
Jerry
the Bandit.
Reed. Smokey is the Bandit.
Yes, because that exists, kids. I mean, I don't know if it actually exists anymore,
Really?
but
Wow.
they did shoot a version of the movie where Jackie Gleason played Smokey and the Bandit. And it was this whole thing where he was going insane. And the test audience hated it. So they went back and reshot all the other side of it with Jerry Reed instead.
That's crazy. Wow, I'd like to see that.
I know. I'd like to
Lord.
see that alternate cut just to see what it was, how bad it was.
Yeah. My goodness. Yeah.
It's like, how
Sounds
could
like
it
they
be
had
any
the
worse?
Concept, and they just took it right out of the movie. Now, or I really want
Yeah.
to see that.
Right? Like, it's like, how can you make this movie worse? Boom.
There's a Toxic Tuesday night classic for you.
Smokey and the Bandit?
Smokey and the Bandit. #1.
Yes. Oh,
They
it's gonna
call
come.
him the Bandit. We
it's
got to
the
do like
only-
a Burt Reynolds month.
The only thing that rivaled Star Wars that year was Smokey and the Bandit in 1977. I went to see
Yep.
that. The only movie I saw as much as Star Wars was Smokey and the Bandit.
People
Yeah,
forget
back
how
then.
huge that movie
Oh, it
was.
a monster. And it was playing in the same theaters at the same times throughout the summer. You go, man, we can get to go and stay at the theater on a Saturday. You can go watch. If you go watch Smokey, you can walk out. And sometimes I would walk out and I'd get to see the Death Star battle. And just walk into the other theater and watch
Yeah.
that.
What were you going to say, Nick, about it? Or...
It's good, Nick. Sorry.
Oh, nothing. I agree. We do need a Burt Reynolds month. Hard agree.
The month of the stash.
Dude, seriously, that would be that's gonna happen. It will in time.
Well, you'd have to do Smokey and the Bandit, The Longest Yard.
Oh, God, I was gonna say
Yes,
longest.
the real
Um,
one.
Do it.
Should we do
Oh
Deliverance?
yeah, there's only one, Clobby.
No
We don't
one.
talk about the
Thank
other
you.
one.
Oh, Deliverance is great.
Because, yeah,
Yes.
what other two would you
Reynolds
guys
month.
consider
No, I love-
quintessential?
You know which one? Actually, you might disagree with this one. I actually loved Hooper.
That's what I'm saying. Like, what other ones would you guys consider as quintessential? Like, I'm kind of questioning, like,
So Smokey,
obviously Smokey, obviously
And Longest
Smokey
Yard.
and Longest Yard, but then after that, would you guys
got
consider
the third one?
Deliverance?
Oh yeah, come on, that's
I
one of the
don't
best.
know.
Yeah.
That's one of the best
Actually,
movies I
I've
can ever
seen-
remember watching.
I've
Yes.
seen the other two plenty of times, but I've not seen Deliverance actually.
Oh my God, you've never
No, you
seen
gotta see
Deliverance?
that, Yeah.
I
Just
Just
so
like
you
how
know,
Slapshot was my first time tonight. Yes.
I
No
still didn't get a
Slapshot
chance to
tonight.
watch it, so I won't be joining you, Nick. But you guys do
It's
need to run
okay.
over and watch it with them, guys. I don't think you'll have a problem without me because Slapshot I know is a very popular film. So
It's pretty good. I haven't
No,
seen since
I
the
can
80s.
see why it was after watching it.
Cannonball
Holy
Run is
crap.
one. I was thinking either Cannonball Run or Best Whorehouse in Texas.
I loved Hooper.
Okay,
I thought
that-
Hooper was
Hooper's a
underrated.
possibility.
Yeah.
yeah, that's gonna be a Toxic Tuesday just off the name.
Well, yeah, so you got to do that one. Okay, well that's Dolly and Bert.
Cop and a half. Look at this.
Cop and a half. Roger Ebert gave that a glowing review. I'm like, Burt Reynolds must have just cut him a check.
Oh my.
Like, have you ever seen that movie? You
Yes.
watch that and you're even like, how the fuck did Roger Ebert like this movie?
No, Gator was a good one. Gator was good, but Sharky's Machine. Yeah.
See, that's the thing is like, there's a couple of them. It's like tough. We'll have to discuss that in the background. Yeah, I think you're right, Nick. I think that's a good
Oh, it was
idea
great.
for some point to do a Burt Reynolds month.
We're gonna do it. We're just like I'm also playing out a Chuck Norris month too, because we've only touched Lone Wolf McQuay, but there's also like Hitman, Invasion USA. I want to do a Chuck Norris month as well because there's a lot of opportunity between him and Burt, and so there's still ground with Charles Bronson we have yet to cover, but
Oh God.
there'll
Yeah.
be more for that down the road. And Clobby will have to show up for at least a few of these because he's basically one of those.
If you do Smokey and the Bandit, my brother, I mean, I'm in.
Oh, you're in. You're in, Clobby, when that happens.
I loved Hooper though. A lot of people don't like Hooper.
What's she got on? Her mind?
When he and she in, that's one of the most quotable movies ever.
I know, right?
And we quote it still all this
What
time.
are we doing this for? They say it can't be done.
That's why we're doing it, son.
All right.
Oh man. And we used to, in fact, we loved it so much when it came on network television and they changed all the damn words up and dubbed over all of Jackie Gleason's curse words with
bum scum and whatever it was.
Man,
yeah.
we even quoted the change for the
scum bum. That's what it was. I'm gonna get you, you scum bum.
Remember the line where he tells those kids, and don't peel off your clothes.
What's funny
think
is
about it, but don't do it. It wouldn't look like on the highway. I know what he really said in the theater, but instead of don't pay with yourselves, it was like don't peel off your clothes.
But I think they let him get away with, because doesn't he call one of them somebody an FA, you know what word at some point? I think they let him get away with that on TV at that time. Like, yeah, that's in there, but not the other parts. Yeah.
Sheriff, do the letters FO mean anything to you?
Don't you swear on this here radio.
Don't you cuss on this here radio. I love it. It's so much. It's so quotable. I love that movie, man.
Oh, I love it too. I got a 6 cents. I don't know. I'd rather have a dime, Daddy.
I'll barbecue your ass in molasses.
When I get home, I'm gonna punch your mama in the mouth. Ain't no way you come from my loins.
Jackie Gleason, fantastic. Oh God. You could not cast that role better.
No. And a lot of his shit was improvised too, I guess. A lot of the Jackie Gleason. He come in and he just had this character in mind. It was just like a tour de force kind of thing.
Indeedishness. Fun
I
stuff,
am
man.
a Texas County Mountie. What in the hell is a Texas County Mountie doing clear out here?
I had a racist moment too that was
Buford T. Justice.
Sweet Justice. You sounded a little taller on the radio. Oh my God. Couldn't do that one.
I'm in hot pursuit.
Oh, he was fantastic.
Yeah,
Good,
it's very
love that
quotable.
guy.
Yeah, like I said, I think the reason people just kind of, I mean, it was huge, and it was not just that at the time. Like, that was an era where, like, just the whole rhinestone cowboy thing as well was a big deal. But
Six doesn't know what we're talking. You don't know Smokey and the Bandit?
Oh, Smokey and the Bandit, really?
Smokey
I think I'm going
and
to
the
call you
Bandit.
Frog.
Remember
Why are
seeing
you
it,
going to call me that? Because you hop around a lot, and I think I want to jump you.
Let's jump something. Let's jump something. Jump me.
Yeah.
Oh, so many lines.
I know. It's
Oh, boy.
great. It's great. Tiger Valley, thank you so much. Sends in 35 South African rand. Says, Clobby, have you heard of the comic book run called Fables by Bill Willingham from the DC Vertigo? Played the video game and I got hooked into that world. I think I've heard of it. Or am I thinking of Fable?
Fables is a very I've read some other Bill Willingham stuff like his Elementals and different things. I have not read Fables, but I have heard of it very much. It's very well respected, very well liked, and it comes highly recommended by a lot of people. I haven't read many Vertigo books, so I have not read that one. I must admit, Tiger Valley, but I've not only heard about it, I have every respect for it because Bill Willingham is a brilliant artist and a great writer.
Yes, I second that. No, he was attached to that book too for a long time.
Oh, he's been doing it forever.
Yeah, a long time. So yeah, I that's stuff some you can that's a book you just bounce into very accessibly, sir.
Yes.
So you definitely give it a shot. I haven't read it myself like Clobby, but yeah, I definitely do got many in my comic book circle who absolutely cherish it.
Max, on the other hand, thinks it's a horrible waste of Mark Buckingham's beautiful art. Ooh.
Well, there you go. I mean, like I said, I have not read it, so I couldn't comment as far as that's concerned. I know that I like Willingham. I've liked his art. I like when he, especially his art on Elementals and some other comics, and have every respect for it. A lot of people who like the series, but sounds like Max has read it, so he might have more valid opinion than mine.
There you
But
go.
I'd still have every respect for that comment.
So yeah, with that, I think we're gonna wind this down because there's not much else to really get too deep into that we probably won't get into tomorrow morning. And Nick's got to get ready for Toxic Tuesday.
Yes. Less
Where
than
you'll
1
be
hour.
watching Slapshot.
Oh, I can't wait. This is my
That's a
first time ever
classic.
seeing this is
This
the
is your
last
first
time I
time
did
with
one.
Slapshot?
This was my first time ever at Slapshot ever. I remember thinking, have I said no? I've definitely not said. The last time we did one like this is when we did Spaceballs over a year ago, Tom. I think it was over a year ago when we did Spaceballs. Yeah, so it was nice to have another normie based one for me. So yeah, I'm looking forward to talking about it because with that movie, I was like, okay, this seems like it's gonna be a ridiculous movie. But then I come out the other side, I'm like, whoa, this is a really ridiculous movie. So yeah, definitely, I'm kind of like disappointed myself for not seeing it sooner because I like a good sports movie. I really do. And the fact that this one slid by my radar, I don't know how that happened, but hey, better late than never. But yes, come hang out Toxic Tuesday, less than 1 hour for Slapshot. It's gonna be amazingly huge. So yes, let's do that. And of course, thank you for having me, Tom. Good to see you, Klabi, CC, and chat. I hope to see you all here on Mead Thursday, and for the rest of you in 1 hour.
Excelente.
Excellent, sir.
CC, what you got going on?
As always, Friday night karaoke over in my channel. I think we got a couple of metal growlers coming in this week, so particularly if you're a fan of metal, you might get some of that. And of course, if the others, Tom, myself, who don't always
I tend to show up.
growl and scream, so we'll get a little bit of a
It's for Cookie. That's good enough for me. Cookie starts with C. Cookie. Cookie, cookie, cookie. Cookie.
So yes, join us there on Friday nights. Klabi, what you got going on?
Well, thanks for having me, buddy. Really appreciate it. Great to see you all in the chat there, but good friends on the panel. Tomorrow night, I think Loki and I will be having the comic book roundtable at 7 Central. I don't know if we usually do, but I'm always kind of a last minute decision. I guess we are. And went tomorrow night, my wild card Wednesday night show, 9 p.m. Central Standard Time. And then, of course, I got the Clubhouse with Raquel and Mark. Thursday night, 9 p.m. Central Standard Time. We'll be hanging out with Nick and the Comic Shop guys gang on Friday nights. Friday night, 8:30 for that great
Oh
group.
yeah, we're talking X-Men Teen Titans that night.
Yeah. And then, of course, got Saturday Night Star Trek with Raquel, of course, reviewing Star Trek on Saturday Night live Saturday night, I should say, 9 p.m. Central. And next Monday, I'm going to have the great Gary Beekler from Nerdrotic on my Monday night Mark C Comics Talk at 9 p.m. Central. So I'm looking forward to hanging out with Gary, talking about comic shops and owning them and other stuff.
That's gonna be the most stereotypical conversation ever for you guys in this life. The fact that you two are known for working at a comic shop and you're both gonna talk about it.
Maybe we won't talk about it at all.
Oh no, now you have no.
Oh, go deep.
You said deep.
Did we lose Tom?
Deep. He said deep.
Deep.
We all been keeping up with Beavis and Butthead, I hope.
Yes, I'm just one episode behind, but I do plan on catching up, and I'll make sure I have last week's and this week's in time for.
Also, you haven't seen last week's yet.
That's the only one. I'm only one behind.
Oh
right
Lord,
now.
one of the funniest episodes.
Are you talking about? Yeah, I did see last week's. Oh, I'm trying to which of the two you're referring to now.
Old Beavis and Butthead episode mainly.
Oh, is that one? Married? Oh my!
Yes.
Called Married. That's all it said. Oh my God! That show's gonna put me in the hospital, man. I'm laughing. I'm about to call an ambulance laughing at that one. I mean, it's killing me, man. It's so funny.
Yeah, Beavis and Butthead get married. That's all I'm gonna say.
Oh, what?
Oh God.
Okay, say no more. I cannot wait.
Yeah, you got to watch that one. I love this show. Oh, it's gonna kill me, but I love it.
Some things are worth dying for. What's what the Morpheus said.
All right. Well, this connects to Toxic Tuesday, and Six also has the link in the chat. Thank you so much, Six, for sharing that in the chat. And thank you guys for joining us tonight. It's been a fun show despite not much to talk about. So take care of yourselves and each
Thanks,
other.
buddy. Thank you.
Yes.
y'all
Until next
soon.
time.
As a reminder, I've been here when it was glory hole days, and I've been here when it wasn't. And so, having said that, I won't